Think of that. Crushed by a crate. The most hated man in London.
Can you imagine achieving such a title? One day my brilliance will bring me similar recognition.
Mr. Raymond, what are you talking about?
Now that I've seen this, I should ask more questions.
He owned this site and paid us. We all hated him because he looked for any excuse to cheat us out of our wages. I didn't hate him any more or less than my mates. It's difficult to work properly. You'd have to know what you're doing to drop it at just the right moment. That's around the time I'm given a few minutes to eat something. About then I would have been buying myself an apple at the stand down the street.
The man's a right bastard. I hope he's smouldering in hell. Well, I'm not a crane operator. I wouldn't know how to work.
Well now, I didn't ask about this.
My best chum is maimed for life, and Ashton didn't care a fig. He deserved what happened. Beyond that, I'm mum.
Eddie? Yeah, I taught him how to work the crane a few days ago.
I know the man. He's hated by everyone. Surprisingly, it's not clear what killed him. I find multiple wounds. No need to send many people to jail for killing such a terrible man. What say you only arrest the single person who actually caused his death? He appears to have been stabbed with a perforating weapon, perhaps a spike of some kind. There would be bleeding and it would affect motor control right away, but death wouldn't come for another 6 minutes.
I suspect that there is at least one deadly toxin in his system.
He's my husband. Each day I bring him the household expenses just after he eats his apple. I also brought him his invitation to the knighthood ceremony, the one with the special scepter. Of course, he wasn't going to take me along. I often tie up my hair around a knitting needle. What business is it of yours?
He stopped by here every day at the exact same time. He'd buy an apple and try to cheat me out of tuppence. But then most folks do that. Yeah, that sounds right. Came by for an apple. He was here when we heard the crate hit the ground.
Stops in front of this pub every afternoon to check on business rumours. Something of a bastard, Ashton. Told me he had a bit of jam on the side, if you know what I mean. Wife didn't know about it. Well, the bitter Jem wants out, but he won't let her. That's the sort of fellow we're speaking of.
I wonder if someone could tell me more about this.
That was Ashton's doing. The man had it in for me. He paid workers to wreck my machines. Cost me a fortune. As long as he was around, I'd never prosper.
As a matter of fact, I do carry a revolver at all times. It can be a dangerous neighborhood for a wealthy fella such as myself. This proves nothing.
I wonder if someone could tell me more about this. I believe I should re-interrogate a suspect.
He's been coming to me for years. He arrives precisely at 1 o'clock and leaves 2 minutes later. He takes a bluish medication every day and prefers that I administer it. Mary is a trusted assistant. As far as I know, she's completely above board. Today, she swept the shop and prepared some medications. She also fetched herself an apple from the apple stand. This really is none of your business. He came to me for his blue medication. I gave him blue medication.
I see him here every day. He can be unpleasant, but I don't really know him. Mr. Ashton did look
I'll be the toast of the town.
A very unpleasant fellow. But what was that business about a knighthood ceremony?
Up to the click with you!
In any case, Mr. Raymond will have a story for Perloff Publishing.
Someone help! Some trap found something down there. Looks like foul play.
I heard a splash, and right quick pulled this bloke out of the shallows, dead as a mackerel. I live there now, if you can call it living. I lost my job, didn't I? No need for the likes of me when a machine can do the work.
Now that I've seen this, I should ask more questions.
A nice warm coat like that on a dead man? What do you expect? I snatched it before somebody else came along to...
I wonder if someone could tell me more about this.
The midnight train? That must be the 616. Stops in the station down the road. If you hurry, it might still be there.
There you go.
Cigars you smoke.
You better hurry. It's leaving right now.
I had drinks in the dining car with Killian. We had business dealings in the past. It was a pleasant surprise to discover him on this train. I felt
felt unusually tired and came back here to get some sleep. I suppose there were some disagreements, but there always are when a great deal of money is involved.
Mr. Wolf had a few with Mr. Killian. Then the young lady invited herself over to have a glass with him. Mr. Wolf bought him drink after drink. Then they got angry. But the young lady come over, and it's obvious that Mr. Killian was interested in a rendezvous, like. Around about 11:30, Killian and her left together. Mr. Wolf became terribly tired, even though he'd only had one drink. Mr. Wolf became terribly tired, even though he'd only had one drink. He told them. I've been Mr. Wolf's valet for going on several years. He's frail and needs a man like me to help him about.
Sam, he's a trusted valet. He's terrifically strong, which makes him useful in many situations.
Nothing unusual at all. I had a drink with some gents and then retired to my sleeper. The rich fella, I did talk with him. Very charming. But a single woman has to be careful, you know? Did something happen to him?
I should go back and ask about this.
All right. I flirt with rich blokes and the barman slips them a mickey. I take them back to my sleeper and they nod off before I have to do anything shameful. They wake up thinking they had a night of fun and hand me a few quid. That's what happened with Mr. Killian, but he was gone when I come back from looking for the man who left the note.
Well now, I didn't ask about this.
Someone slipped a note under my sleeper door a few minutes before midnight. It said I should come to the dining car. I went, but only Ryan and Wolf's man were there, and they were both drunk.
The young lady. She and Killian hit it off famously. Embarrassing, really.
Odd thing was, some noises on the roof woke me up briefly. You say someone was thrown from up there? You have to be a very strong fella to drag someone up onto the roof. Killian was on this train. Cool. I used to work in his foundry. I never even seen him. None of us workers ever knew what he looked like. That one. Clever little minx. She and the barman got a little scam going. I think everyone on the staff knows about it. Vivian had another of her dupes in her compartment by then. After that, I remember people going past me from time to time, but I was half asleep.